Okay, so here we go. We're here to talk about James Ward, how he's stolen millions of dollars from GCN members. And we're just kind of putting out a fair warning to the Lion's Share members that if you don't know what you're dealing with, we're going to tell you what you're dealing with. I mean, this guy, as you know, he comes across as he kind of looks like a pure, kind of nice, sweet person, a guy who's just kind of straightforward and like he really cares. But the bottom line is, I mean, maybe he is some of those things, but we're telling you facts that he has stolen our money, and it's millions of dollars amongst about 10,000 different members or so in GCN. So we're just going to give you our own little testimonials, and we will continue to be doing videos in the days and weeks ahead, flooding the keywords for Lion's Share. That's Lion's Share by itself, Lion's Share James Ward, Lion's Share scam, and various other keyword phrases. So that what's going to happen, just so that you know, your business is going to suffer, and it's going to suffer because James Ward, if he doesn't care about you enough to do what is right and pay the people that he owes, then your business is going to suffer, and it's going to kind of go down the drain, quite frankly. Because what it essentially means is that if you have a prospect and he's interested in Lion's Share, and he does a little search online in Google and YouTube, and he's gonna be finding a lot of the videos that are going to be speaking the truth about James Ward. Everything we do here is just speaking the truth, because the truth will bring him down. And that's what we're going to start here with Royal Emery. So Royal, if you could just share your experience. Thanks.
I mean, everything seemed really good until the whole world shut down in February. And so when sports went away, pretty much the whole program went away. And that in and of itself is understandable, because there's nothing to wager on if there's no sports being played. So, as far as from my perspective, James Ward seemed to do a decent job of kind of keeping us informed as to what was going on. There always seemed to be something that was in the background that wasn't functioning correct, and something needed to be fixed either technically or otherwise. And for the first few months, that just kind of seemed reasonable, because an upstart company is going to have difficulties and challenges and setbacks. So I mean, you kind of just roll with those setbacks, and that's fine. So we're confident that things were kind of going okay. They were going well, and I personally saw my investment, or you can't call it an investment, but I did personally see the money that I put into this program. It did seem to be increasing on those sports wagering. Very, very good numbers in terms of the wins and losses. So that seemed to be fine. And then we had the technical difficulties and issues that kind of set us back. And we were asked to be patient by James Ward. So we all kind of stuck that out. And then, like I mentioned earlier, that everything shut down in February or March, thereabouts, in terms of sports and everything else, as we all know. So that just set us back some more. And it's nothing that anyone has control over, obviously. So we just kind of all were asked to be patient. And there was still some communication from James here and there, maybe once a month or every other week, something like that. A small email here and there saying, hey, we're still here. We still have everything in mind. Everything's still in place, and things are going to work out. Once sports opens back up, we're gonna start getting this thing going again. And so once sports finally came back, which was I don't remember, maybe a couple months ago from this date. So back in August, September, something like that. Things started kind of looking like they were gonna start getting going again with the wagering and getting the GCM program going again. So he did say that was going to happen, and that we're really close to making that happen. And So this is the one thing that I had mentioned to Joseph that I just don't understand. It seemed like he was more on top of things and keeping us abreast of what was going on when things were completely dead in the water. And now that things should not be dead in the water because sports are actually back, it's been complete crickets. And that's the thing that just blows me away is now it's like there's no communication. There has been no communication for 2 months or more, and not even a peep as to why or what's going on, why it's going on. And that just it just blows me away. And we're all left scratching our head here trying to wonder what's going on. And I mean, any kind of communication would be better than none. And so you just have to be left to wonder that he's definitely absconded with our monies.
All right. Well, thanks, bro. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thanks for your testimony, man.
Sure.
All right. Who wants to be next?
I'll go next. This is Ignat Bacco, San Clemente, California. I got my records pulled up. Looks like I got involved with GCN, whatever was the previous name of the company, back on November 13th and November 14th. I made the initial deposits. Then James announced a Christmas special, and I put another quarter Bitcoin then, and then I did some more on February 15th. So the total that I've put in was 0.54 Bitcoin. I did get some of it out, and I've been getting some of the payouts up until February 13th. So I did get 60% of what I originally put in back, but I'm still owed 0.21, 0.22 Bitcoin. And everything was going great, and I was getting the payouts up until looks like I've requested a payout based on some the GOWs, they call them in the system, on February 25th. February 25th, even though the website said that they debited my account for the payout, I never actually received the Bitcoin in my wallet. So that was on February 25th. And since then, I've been sending messages to support. I've sent messages to Troy Recta, and I haven't been getting the payouts since then. And like Royal said, we've been getting some of the updates through Corona, during Corona, before the sports came back. But when actually the sports came back, we really haven't heard from James Ward. The last communication I have on the Telegram from him is dated October 20th.
Right.
And he's just saying one more admin and programming challenges. That was a Telegram message on October 20th.
Right.
So that's what I got.
Thank you, Ignat. Yeah, just so that everybody knows, just real quick, he owes me about 1.5 Bitcoin just to break even. So it was about $30,000. And I've contacted him numerous times by phone, by Telegram, and he won't budge on it. So, there's a lot of people with a lot of big numbers in here that I've talked to, and we're going to get more people coming in. But whoever wants to go next, just share their testimonial.
I could go next.
Okay.
All right. So my name is Jorge. I got involved with what is called GCN now, but when they first started, their names were Sports Trading BTC. I got involved exactly on November 2nd, 2019. I made my first deposit then. And then from there on, the following month, I was able to get some withdrawals. And then on the following month, which was December 24th, 2019, he ran a promo to double anyone's, position if they were to put in a certain amount of funds. So I went ahead and I participated in that on December 24th, 2019. And from there on, I was able to get some withdrawals. And based on what I see here, my last withdrawal was made on around beginning of January 2020 this year. And then from that point forward, my understanding is that they changed something in the system um, to not I guess to not allow withdrawals directly the way they were doing it before. So from that, what I could say is that I only received around 62.37% of my funds back. The remaining is still stuck in their platform. So I requested a refund from James, and this was this past September. If I could get the date right from here, I think this past September 2020, and his exact response was, "We won't be giving refunds. You have a position in your system that you can work. It is a great plan. Make sure to check it out. Check out the new videos so you can get rolling soon." Um, that was his response when I requested for a refund. So I'm still in the limbo, and meanwhile, I'm not sure what else to do. That's pretty much my story.
Thank you, Jorge. Yeah, one of the things that was a big deal was the CAB bonus, which was a product that we purchased. We weren't allowed to use the word investment. So it was a product that we purchased that would bring in money via sports trading, which was going on behind the scenes. So when Jim Ward came back and revamped everything, he said that, well, the CAB bonus is no longer because we've changed the compensation plan. Well, the CAB bonus was a product. It was not part of the compensation plan so much as it was a product. And so he just kind of semantically changed the way that we looked at things. And so even though people like myself still were owed, in this case, with the price of Bitcoin presently, I'm owed like $30,000. Even so, we're not going to get paid that, because even though we put, a bunch of Bitcoin into the product so that we would get paid back plus interest, even though we did that, because he semantically changed the whole idea of, the CAB bonus no longer being a product, but being a part of the comp plan. We no longer, I have to lose $30,000 because he just changed it. So that's kind of the way that went. But I think the last one is Patrick. Go ahead, Pat.
Yes. Well, I'm just trying to refresh my memory on what transpired. There's some background. There's some background noise? Is that from me, Joe?
I don't know. I don't really hear it.
Is everybody muted? Okay. Let me start over. Okay. You can edit all this, right, Joe?
Yeah. We got about 9 minutes left, so for this end.
Yeah, I'll just be brief. Okay. Well, I started with GCN. I believe it was really at the launch, and I just love the whole idea of it being legitimate sports betting. And then he brought on the auctions. I'm probably close to a Bitcoin in there that I couldn't get out. He did say he was having problems with the sports betting, but the auctions, he was having trouble with the auctions, but the sports betting, until they straightened all the compensation plan out and supposedly the software glitches, the betting was going to go on. He assured everyone that if they did win, their games, that they would be paid. And so I went in on good faith, because I really wanted to support the whole vision that James had, of having, sports betting and then the auctions, both legitimate businesses. But when I did some betting, and I encouraged a couple of my team members that, let's hang in there, let's do some betting and see see how it goes. I did have some wins. I did request the payouts, and they wouldn't honor those. So, when people say, well, COVID hit and it created havoc on his whole platform, he stopped paying back, I think it was in November or December of, before they, he didn't officially shut down. I actually I can still log into my dashboard, but that's been revamped. But basically, James, he looked like a stand-up guy. He was very transparent, very believable. He lives in the U.S. But I think the excuses, I think they were just excuses. And at this point, I really think he had intentions of, really making off with a lot of Bitcoin on this. So, but, when people say, oh, he ran into some problems and some bad luck with COVID, that's not the case, because he stopped paying 3 or 4 months prior to that. And so just wanted to make that clear that, he just, pretty much dragged it out until people, left. So that's about it.
Yeah, that was the main thing, too, that I wanted to get across is that, it just wasn't COVID. He didn't, like Patrick just said, he wasn't paying us for like 2 to 3 months before COVID. So it was this whole thing about being patient. He goes on and on about how patient we have been. And he's just so thankful that we're patient. And then, just as Ignat said, the last correspondence in the Telegram group was October 20th. And I'm going to be showing some of that in other videos. But we will have more testimonials coming. There was a bunch of people that was supposed to show up tonight. I think there was a technical problem on their end. But we will continue to let the people in Lionshare know the truth of James Ward, that, as it often is, you don't read a book by its cover. You watch the actions of the person. And so what we're doing is we are testifying as to his actions. We know that he looks like a trustworthy person, but it's actually his actions are contrary to his appearance. And that becomes a very dangerous element in any situation when you're dealing with people who look one way but do something completely different in their actions. And as you probably know, there's an old saying called "history repeats itself." And the reason that saying's been around for so long is because there's a great element of truth therein. It strikes a chord with many people, and I assure you, if it happened here, it will happen again. Because until people change, behaviors and outcomes do not change. So that is pretty much it for this particular video. We thank you, everybody. Thank you, Patrick, Jorge, Ignat, Royal, and we had, I think, Mike as well.
Yeah, just to put some data after what Patrick said, the February 13th was my last payout. So it was way before Corona. Corona started mid-March, let's call it that. So the payout problem started way before Corona.
Right.
So I forget the time.
Go ahead.
I forget the timeline now because, gosh, so much time's been passed. But the fact is that he lured people in. He said he was going to double us up, and he was going to pay out on the betting, and then until we get everything straightened out. The other thing is, real quickly, he was involved in a travel program years ago, and it doesn't. There's not a favorable light about what he did. There's just not a lot of, because of so much time that has passed, there's evidence that he ripped people off way back then too. So he's got a track record here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know that Lionshare is a peer-to-peer program, but I assure you that James has positioned himself so he's going to make a lot of money there, and I'm sure he's making a lot of money right now. And one of the reasons we're really going after this right now is because, hey, Bitcoin has practically doubled. And what a better time for James to pay off his debts, right? And he could do that and probably still have a lot of money left over. And at the same time, make your business survive. I mean, if he cares about the people, the members of Lionshare, so that their businesses will prosper, then he will do what is right and pay all the millions of dollars that he owes to the people that he just so disrespectfully like bold-faced left with, just completely no respect, doesn't care what anyone says. But yet, as I said, on the surface, he looks like he's a really good guy. So that's about it.
Yeah, another guy that's due for prison if he doesn't come clean.
Exactly. I don't know if I said it in the recording part of this, but I basically did a series of videos regarding one of the biggest online scammers, Phil Piccolo. And it was in conjunction with another group of people who were bringing a lawsuit against him. And Phil Piccolo, as far as I know, he had to go through a trial. I think he's in prison right now. And I already told James Ward about that. And I've given James many chances. I've just let him know, we're trying to be civil about this and give you a chance to do what is right. And no responses from it. So that's it. Anything else, guys?
No, that Piccola guy. Real quickly, I posted something. I got an email from the I think it was the SEC.
Yeah.
Was that the suit where he settled and they were sending out they're sending $33 out. Federal Trade Commission. I got something, and if you read in depth, was he involved in the Bitcoin funding team?
He probably the guy had his hand in everything.
Okay.
He had 30 fingers and everything. But anyways, bro, this is we only have like less than a minute, so let's end. And we'll talk more. Hopefully we can get together again. But thanks, guys, for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for doing this, Joe.
God bless.
Joe, how can I want to make sure I get on your list for these calls? How can I do that?
Can you contact me in Telegram, Ignat? Are you in Telegram?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
Or hey, send me Ignat's info and
okay.
Yeah.
I'll do
All
that.
right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.